Texas State won the toss, and they have elected to receive. So the Bobcats are going to get the ball first, and here we go from San Marcos, Texas, into the end zone, but it's going to be returned outside the 25 to about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Bobcats will have the ball for the first time. And we already talked about it, Rod, but the story of the day really is Brady McBride, dynamic, up and down, but very exciting last week. Not going to go today, so Tyler Vitt, who's got starting experience, he gets the nod for Texas State.
Yeah, he started 12 games in his career, was the starter for the opener last year, and then was replaced for the few games after that, but he got back in later after an injury, so he's played an awful lot of football.
Empty backfield. They're going to swing it out to the left side, and a quick completion on first down, and a couple broken tackles as well for a nice first down game.
You know, Vitt is a guy who stuck around even when McBride showed up as a transfer. You know, when a transfer quarterback comes in, you know that the coaching staff generally is looking for that guy to take over.
Sturgis, the running back, got the catch. Now he gets the carry. The transfer from Arizona State. He had a nice game against SMU. So did his backfield mate Calvin Hill. The Bobcats ran the ball beautifully in their opener, which they did not do very well last year in the first year for Jake Spavital in charge of the Texas State program. It's 3rd down and 3.
Spavital has rebuilt this team in one quick offseason.
They looked like they were much improved in week 1. A low snap, but handled by Vitt, and he's got Sturgis wide open for a big gain down the left sideline. Inside the 20, still going inside the 10. He'll go all the way for a touchdown.
Number 5, Brock Sturgis.
Dave, this is what we talked about with Vitt. He's a quick game passing quarterback. Allow him to get the ball out fast. 3 steps, get rid of it. This is just a swing pass out of the backfield. Blown assignment by UTSA. Someone failed to recognize that they were responsible for the back out of the backfield. A complete blown coverage on the part of the defense.
66 yards and a quick strike for Texas State, looking for their first win of the year after a very nice showing in a loss in week 1. And what a great start for the Bobcats. Brock Sturgis, one of their playmakers, part of that rebuilt team that you're talking about, Rod.
Yeah, 54 new players on this team, rebuilt the roster. Sturgis, one of those guys, began his career at Arizona State, went to junior college, wound up here, and just a swing pass and a blown assignment inside by UTSA. And you know, Sturgis is a guy you got to keep an eye on. You can't let him come out of the backfield all by himself.
That drive was all him. I mean, give Vitt credit for the quick hitters, but he caught the ball twice, ran the ball once. That was Brock Sturgis, his show to put Texas State ahead 7-0. Well, he committed to Arizona State. He was a kid who grew up in Texas, Allen High School, played for a big-time program. Played just 1 game, transferred to Butler Community College, was a first-team All-American there, and now playing for the Bobcats.
He played.
Looks to me, Rod, like the addition of Sturgis and Calvin Hill, redshirt freshman, playing for the first time, has totally changed this Texas State offense.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember, Spavatola comes from the air raid system, and he's kind of junked that to go to a more run-oriented offense. And maybe he learned some of that from Dana Holgerson in West Virginia.
We might talk about that a little more as we go on. So the kickoff after the touchdown through the end zone for a touchback. And so UTSA will have the ball for the first time, not just this afternoon, but also this season. And it has been a journey for Frank Harris to get back on the field. This is a young man who has overcome a lot of injury adversity in his playing career. And he won the starting job, Rod. He gets the first snaps of the year.
Yeah, he's a guy you have to root for, don't you? I mean, a guy who's been injured his entire career, was a big-time player coming out of high school, stayed home, and then got injured every single year. And this is his chance to be the guy.
He did. Torn ACL senior year of high school, torn ACL redshirt freshman year of college, shoulder injury last year, big hole straight up the middle, and a huge gain for the Roadrunners. We might have some offense today. That's Sincere McCormick, who was the freshman of the year in Conference USA last year. His first carry of 2020 is a monster gain of 59 yards.
Well, that'll help an offense, a new quarterback, when your best running back and deliver something like that.
How about the play fake? There's Harris, his athletic ability inside the 5, and he walks in, touchdown. So it's going to be that kind of game.
We're talking track meet, huh?
17 yards for Frank Harris. That was pretty nifty.
Well, I mentioned that he's a dangerous runner. You can see the athleticism, the change of direction, the sleight of hand with the fake. And we haven't even seen him throw yet. And I tell you, he's a pretty good quarterback in the pocket. He has a lot of patience when it comes to throwing the football.
Extra point is up, and that is good. What an answer from the Roadrunners, who have a totally new offense. I mean, UTSA fans will not recognize this team. Their system couldn't be more different from what they've been running the last few years. And I would say the early results pretty positive. A touchdown quickly for the Bobcats on the long pass play, and then the answer from UTSA. It was McCormick straight up the middle for a nearly 60-yard gain that set up the touchdown. Cats of Texas State playing at home, won the toss, wanted the ball, took the ball, and it took them 3 plays to get in the end zone. So UTSA had the ball just literally a minute and a half into the game, and it took them 2 plays to get in the end zone. 7-7, not even 2 minutes in. And Frank Harris, coming back from injury, looked pretty darn good. The Roadrunners answer the touchdown. Now they will kick it deep, and that one will be a touchback. So we have to go all the way back, Rod, a minute ago when Texas State had the ball. And this was the play that got them on the board.
Yeah, a little cross motion to tell you that you've got man coverage. Now watch what's going to happen. You're going to pick a linebacker here, and that's why Sturgis winds up completely wide open. Watch the H-back come, and he's going to pick the linebacker there. That's man coverage. You can't get to it because of pick. Rocky, I'm sure that never happened to you. And the officials never call it, do they?
Never that I will admit, but Rod, that linebacker's got to anticipate that pre-snap that he's going to get picked and get himself out there. He didn't.
So Vitt this time is going to swing it out to the right side, and that catch and run will go for a gain of maybe 4 on first down.
And this is the right way to open up with Vitt. You know, they're getting him comfortable. Everything is quick. 3 steps, get it out, swing pass, set your feet, get rid of it. They're not asking him yet to take a 5-step drop to try and throw an intermediate pass. They're getting him comfortable. This is a really good job.
So Vitt with a play fake, gets pressured for the first time, throws that one. It is caught. A low pass, but scooped up Jeremiah Haydell. That's just ho-hum for him. That doesn't even count as a good catch after what he did last week.
Yeah, he doesn't miss anything, does he? I mean, he's already put up the catch of the year in college football.
We will definitely take a look at that from last week. A huge highlight. Really spectacular play against SMU. Vitt keeps it. Made a couple different defenders miss and made something out of nothing.
Yeah, but you know, if he runs that zone read and the quarterback draw, Ty Nix, the defensive coordinator at UTSA, will be happy with that. He'd like for Vitt to move in the backfield and to run the ball. He's not as dangerous as McBride, so he'll live with that.
2nd down and 5. Vitt throws, and that one is caught, but it may be short depending on the spot. That's a pretty generous spot. I think that will give the Bobcats a first down. It will.
You know, Dave, this is a little bit of the getting back to the air raid, if you will, for Spavatola, who grew up in that system and sort of moved away from it. In fact, I think Mike Leach doesn't consider Dana Hogerson or Spavatola as being part of the air raid system anymore.
Too much run game. That one was way overthrown and picked off. Intercepted by the Roadrunners. And on the return with a penalty flag down. That looked like Corey Mayfield Jr. who picked that off. I think the flag came down during the return. So my guess is this interception will stand, but we're going to find out.
Yeah. And this is why Spavital was being so deliberate with him early on, to get the confidence going and to stay away from the deeper throws.
After the change of possession, illegal block in the back, number 96, be a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, UTSA.
So the illegal block after the interception was recorded. Corey Mayfield, who had never had an interception in his career until now. So 2020 has started off well for the junior from Forney, Texas.
Yeah.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, you see how that ball sailed on him? And when you watch tape of it's the inconsistency in the intermediate throws that have been a problem for him. He's excellent with the short, quick game. Intermediate's the issue.
McCormick's going to get the carry on first down. UTSA comes up with the turnover, and it's a much more modest gain for Sincere McCormick after his first rush of the year went for almost 60 yards. The Roadrunners are going to live up to their name this year. They were a deliberate offense last season. They are going to be so much faster this year. Barry Lunny, their new offensive coordinator, sort of comes from that Art Briles, Mike Leach school of offense, where the faster the better.
Yeah. In this Texas heat, this kind of an up-tempo can wear you down.
That's a good point. Play fake. Harris, the lefty quarterback, rolling to his left and put the ball right there, but that was not handled. Brendan Dingle, transfer, senior from UMass, could not haul it in.
Yeah, Dave, you can see Harris's skills, though, as he rolled to his left, made a perfect throw on the move. He's comfortable outside of the pocket. He's comfortable in the pocket. You can see why he was such a big deal coming out of high school in San Antonio.
He was. People down there absolutely loved him. His junior year, he was the offensive player of the year in San Antonio. That short pass was well defended. The tackle behind the line of scrimmage, Brendan Brady with the catch. But number 0, and we will talk about him a lot, I'm sure, Jaron Morris, the junior from Orange, Texas. The word we heard a lot of words about him. Feisty, tough, competitive. He can tackle for a guy who's not that big.
What did he say? I want my 2 pounds. Do not call me 158 pounds. I am 160.
He was fighting for those 2.
Hey, 160 pounds. He had 8 tackles last week.
He plays a lot bigger than that. A draw play on 3rd and long. And again, a good defensive play by the Bobcats defense. That's going to force 4th down and presumably a punt coming up. So we're not going to have a touchdown every 3 plays in this game.
I like that pace, though. That was good.
Me too. I mean, you're a former defensive guy, and you're saying that. It was a fun start. The punt, kind of a low line drive, but forces the return man back inside the 15. The return comes out across the 25 to the 29. The Bobcats of Texas State going to have the ball when we come back, and we might take a look at that highlight play from Jeremiah Haydell from last week right after this.
Presented by Sling TV, the smart choice for live TV.
Well, isn't it amazing since OBJ made that catch in 2014? Seems like every time a receiver makes a one-handed catch, he gets compared to Odell Beckham Jr. Jeremiah Haydell last week, Rod, against SMU, made the catch of the week. Who knows? It might end up being the catch of the year. That was a pretty darn good imitation as far as I'm concerned.
Imitation. I think it's a better catch than OBJ's. Look at this, the degree of difficulty. He's got a guy hanging on him, probably pass interference, and he comes up with it anyway.
Even better. Amazing. And Jeremiah, he enjoyed the attention that came his way after that catch. There are all kinds of folks who were calling him, texting him after they saw that play, saw it on all the highlight shows. Des Bryant was tweeting about it. I think for any kid who's from Texas, Des Bryant, that's a big deal if Des is paying attention to you.
Yeah, that's somebody who's made a few catches, right?
He has. Nasty. It was nasty in a couple different ways. What a play. 2nd and 12 for the Bobcats, and the pass across the middle caught by Blake Aragon. The Bobcats, Rod, have tight ends this week.
They had none last week. And this is part of the new normal with college football and the pandemic. You're going to have players that test positive or they're part of contact tracing, and they're going to miss a game or two.
So the quick tempo offense on 3rd and 3. Tyler Vitt throws short. Nice tackle by the Roadrunners defensively in the open field, and that is going to force 4th down.
Yeah, but it's still a really good series in the sense that they came back and got Vitt comfortable. Go back to what he does well, throwing the short passes to get his confidence back after that pick.
Savion Harris made the tackle that forces the punt. Seamus O'Kelly, who's not from Dublin, he's from Australia, will punt the ball away. From Melbourne. First 5 plays from scrimmage in this game produced 2 touchdowns. The offenses have cooled off since then, and a penalty flag for a procedure penalty.
Kicking team, number 14, 5-yard penalty.
He was the first player to come to head coach Jake Spavital after the George Floyd murder, and his idea was we need to do something as a team, and so they organized a unity march with local law enforcement. Gavin was the first guy to get up and speak, and here he is on the field today, the 2nd game of the year for Texas State, hosting UTSA. Pretty impressive young man.
Yeah, he's really taken charge of things on the racial and social injustice front with this team.
Player driven. Handoff, almost like a jet sweep type action, and a nice 1st down gain for the Roadrunners. Before the game, this was the Bobcats walking out towards midfield. There can only be one captain on each side during pandemic times, but Texas State arm in arm before the game as they walked out to support their team captain. First down, UTSA, and the quarterback keeper for Frank Harris. This time going backwards. And who was in there? Gavin Graham helped make that tackle.
You know, Dave, the arm in arm march out to the field is something the players intended to make a powerful statement that they're united and they're together. And their locker room probably had as unique discussions about social and racial injustice as any locker room in the country, given that they have players who have police officers as parents.
So the snap to Harris in the pocket. He'll throw over the top and incomplete, a little too high. It's 3rd and 14. Well, on both sides, players, both sides whose players have family members who are law enforcement officers, and I think it did. You're right. It made, when we talked to those kids, it made the discussion more rich.
Yeah, they were able to share perspectives from the police officer's point of view as we see Harris.
Is going to get ripped to the ground, and 2 penalty flags came in. I think that was either a face mask or a horse collar, something like that. That was going to be a big loss on the play. Instead, it may well be a 1st down for the Roadrunners.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 8. 15-yard previous spot. 1st down.
You see the pressure coming around from the edge.
So the penalty is going to negate what was a really good play.
Yeah, that was Hal Benson who got in there.
Yeah, it was a senior who he missed last week with COVID protocol. He's playing his 1st game. Play fake on 1st down. Harris kind of dancing around, dumps it short. And across midfield, that's Sincere McCormick, who's not just a rusher. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, gain of 6.
Yeah. Dave, back to that locker room discussion. Guys like Stick Jones, a wide receiver whose father is a police officer in New Orleans, allow them to get together and really talk about the experiences that they've had and to question why certain things happen.
cut upfield after the catch. Corian Clark, who's a big wide receiver, the sophomore, will stop just a little bit short of the first down.
And what's come out of all that, all those discussions, is that the one thing this group wants to do is vote and register people to vote.
3rd and 1. And Harris keeps. He's got a first down and more. There is a penalty flag down, though, so we'll see if this one's coming back.
Pretty good sleight of hand there by Harris.
Excellent.
Holding, offense, number 87, 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
You can see on the, looks like it's going to be right here on the edge, on the tight end. Grabbing, holding. Yep, got to let go. That's Gavin Sharp, 87.
Well, that wasn't one of those penalties that had nothing to do with the play. That was instrumental in freeing Frank Harris for the first down. So now 3rd and 11 from the pocket. That short pass, and the receiver Dingle will be swarmed. Stopped well short of the first down.
Our initial track meet has turned into a defensive struggle.
Isn't that funny how things settle down? We had 5 plays and 2 touchdowns in the first minute and a half of this game. And since then, we've had lots of possessions. There's been an interception. There's been punts, but no points on the board. Now 4 minutes still to go in quarter number 1. From right around midfield, Lucas Dean's going to try to angle this punt, and it's a good one, bouncing inside the 10. It's going to be down all the way at about the 5-yard line. Good special teams play for UTSA. Well, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Trevor Lawrence and number 1 Clemson against Wake Forest, a season debut for both those teams out of the ACC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One on ABC and the ESPN app. It's been a heck of an offseason for Trevor Lawrence, with the spotlight on him so brightly and him stepping right into it, Rod.
Yeah, he's, in my view, he's got a lot to prove. Rocky, I wonder after this play if you agree that Trevor Lawrence has a lot to prove this season.
I think he certainly does, Rod. Remember, he started off bad last year to the season, had 5 interceptions in the first 3 games and ended kind of bad, but he's no question the best quarterback in the nation. He just wants to start faster this year.
I think Justin Fields might have something to say about that. He's coming on strong if he gets to play this season.
And that is part of what makes this season so strange, is that we got some teams playing, some teams not. You have the AP top 25 where Clemson's number 1, Ohio State right there alongside them, and yet we don't know when the Buckeyes are actually going to play a game. You got Penn State in the top 10, you got Pac-12 teams in the rankings, and we don't know when they're going to play. 2nd and 11. Not great field position for Vitt and the Bobcats. That was beautifully thrown across the middle for a first down gain. Chandler Spades with the catch.
Davey's really good when he's on time. When he knows he's got to get rid of the ball 1, 2, 3 and it comes out. His accuracy is outstanding. His confidence is high.
So that's a big gain to give the Bobcats a little breathing room. That pass, that came out quick, but not on target. Shareed was the intended target at 2nd and 10.
Yeah. You know, this Texas State offense has become more of a run team. We've yet to see Calvin Hill, who was a star last week, get to touch the ball yet. But he was more than 100 yards last week.
And he is in the game now alongside Tyler Vitt. So we'll see if he can touch the ball. They're going to the other side of the field, and that one was well defended by UTSA. Haydel goes down for a loss.
This pass is complete to number 3, Carolina.
A lot of single-digit numbered players out there.
There are. UTSA has some honored numbers. It's a new tradition with their new head coach, Jeff Traylor, with the 210 numbers. With of course, the connection being the area code in San Antonio, Texas. Those are the numbers that get voted upon by players for their teammates, but the single digits still have special meaning, and there are a lot of them. That pass dumped short, and it'll be stopped well short of a first down. So we're going to have another punt after all the fireworks in the early minutes.
Yeah, I guess the single digit numbers are really popular. They're considered cool, and you know, it's tough on a coach when the high school guys you're recruiting want a single digit, and the guys that are playing for you want a single digit. You can't take care of everyone. So a lot of coaches have gone to creating a system to hand out those single digits.
On fourth down from inside the 30, the punt coming for Texas State. Chance for some good field position for UTSA. That ball rolling along the sideline there. We'll see where they spot it. That ended up being a pretty good punt at the 28-yard line. So there is the new head coach for the Roadrunners. Gilmer, Texas, the East Texas town with a proud football tradition. Jeff Traylor won 3 state championships as a high school coach there, and it's his triangle of toughness. The 210 area coach, Sheldon Jones, Sticks Jones, Jalen Haynes, Frank Harris, 3 of the leaders on this team voted with those 210 numbers.
Well, you can't wear a single digit unless you're really good. And it's just kind of one of the unwritten rules.
And those guys are really good. Harris, who won the starting job as a quarterback, hands off on first down. And I think it is worth repeating that there is not a team in college football other than UTSA that has 4 different quarterbacks, 4 of them who've started at least 4 games at this level. I mean, they got 4 guys with legitimate starting experience. Their quarterback competition in the preseason was spirited, and this is the guy who won that competition, Frank Harris, and he's had a nice start here to his 2020 season.
Yeah, and that's a heck of a throw. Rolling that way and finding one. But you know, most coaches would love to have a quarterback room with that kind of experience.
No kidding. I mean, there are a lot of teams that have a hard time coming up with any starting experience at quarterback where in an era where quarterbacks, and I don't blame them. I mean, this is not a commentary on it, but a lot of quarterbacks are jumping and making transfers to try to find extra playing time.
But just look on the other side of the field. Texas State didn't have a quarterback last week, and they're out one this week.
No kidding. Harris throws short, and that cut by Clark near midfield. Will set up third down and close to 5 yards coming up. Now, Josh Atkins is the guy a lot of people thought would win the starting job just because he had the most experience at New Mexico State and put up some
in Tallahassee after his electrifying run at Memphis. How about James Blackman to Keyshawn Helton getting Florida State on top of Georgia Tech 7-0 on ABC.
All right, so Mike Norvell, just like the head coach of UTSA, Jeff Traylor, starting with a new program. Harris pressured immediately on first down, got away, and threw to the sideline. Was that caught? It was. My goodness, what a play that was.
Yeah, great play. You know, Dave, Texas State plays this new wave of defense that is sort of taking college football by storm. You see another look at it. Gets that foot in bounds, makes the catch. Wow. It's beautiful. But this 3-high safety look. Another tempo play here. UTSA is speeding it up.
So Brady with the catch and the run, and this is how they want to do it. They want to go fast. Harris takes that quick snap, gives it to Brady again, and pushes his way inside the 10-yard line down to the 9.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that this style of defense where you have 3 safeties and you basically have a 3-man front, 2 linebackers or 3 linebackers, often showing a light box. But what you have is a guy like Mask, who you want to feature. You want him to be able to adjust and make plays. He becomes sort of like a queen on a chessboard. He can go anywhere. He can make any play he needs to make, whether it's rushing or...
Rod, you talked about it early in the broadcast. Jake Spavital, part of the, whether you call it the Mike Leach tree, the air raid coaching tree. It's amazing how many coaches were alongside Mike in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, and so many of those coaches who learned the air raid through Mike Leach have changed, except for Sonny Dykes by and large. Most of them have moved on to a more oriented air raid and kept some of the principles of the air raid passing system, but they're incorporating tight ends and sometimes multiple running backs. And Mike Leach says he's kicked all of them out of the air raid club.
Yeah, if you hand the ball off too much, Mike doesn't talk to you anymore. That's it. The handoff to Brock Sturgis, straight ahead running. A running play. Mike would be furious. Jake Spavital, who coached under Dana Holgerson, not just with him in Lubbock, but went to Houston, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and then came from West Virginia to San Marcos to take over his own program. Those two are very close. Dana Holgerson has been a proponent of Jake's all along the way. He's just 35 years old. He's the second youngest coach at the FBS level.
Well, Holgerson was his mentor. He taught him the game. He's hired him a couple of times. And, you know, coaches need a mentor, someone to help them navigate the college football career. And Holgerson has done a terrific job with Spavital.
It's nice to have a mentor, somebody to not just hire you and help you learn, but then promote you along the way. That pass thrown toward the right sideline and caught, but short. So we'll see. It's fourth down. Spavital, I don't know if he likes to take some risks. He likes to go for it on fourth down. I'm not sure the field position dictates that, though.
Did you see the look on his face?
I did.
Yeah, because he walked away like, gosh, I can't go for it in my own area of the field, but man, I like going for it on fourth down.
Now, I've seen that look on Holgerson's face, too, in the past. Maybe that gets passed down in the tree as well. 4th and 1. Yeah, good job by the Roadrunners defense. They have really settled in. They're running an entirely new defensive style this year. That punt will go toward the right sideline and kick out of bounds. So we'll take a break here from San Marcos, Texas. UTSA with the 10-7 second quarter lead.
Sturgis got out for a long touchdown run to get things started. We started feeling like this was a track meet, and indeed it continued with McCormick, the freshman of the year last year, in Coosa, busting one up the middle to set up a nice little touchdown run by Harris, showing you his moves getting to the outside and why he's earned that number 0. First time in college football history that number's been used.
Well, McCormick with that big rush accounting for most of his yardage. Sturgis, that big catch and run accounting for most of his yardage. Both the touchdowns literally within the first 5 plays from scrimmage of this game. Since then, the defenses have been much better. There is Sincere McCormick straight ahead for a nice first down run.
Yeah, you know, you look at this defense, this robber style defense, and you see those 5 guys in the box, and it tells you let's run against it. Let's go ahead and get it. You just never know when they are also crashing the box with a couple of other defenders.
And off right side and struggling to get there. And that is a first down run for McCormick. You know, the other point you made, Rod,
what needs to happen for... Sorry, Dave. What needs to happen is UTSA needs to challenge the defense deep to get that extra man, that rover guy, out of the box, Rod.
Well, maybe this will be a challenge deep. A little trick play with the pitch back run and some room to maneuver inside the 40, inside the 30. And I think Frank Harris, the quarterback, helped set that up with a block.
Yes, he did. You'll see him get out to the right side. Just keep your eyes to the right of the screen and wait for number 0 to show up there. There you saw the little block, got in the way, and that was all that was needed.
Okay, maybe that was a better description. He got in the way. It wasn't exactly a pancake, but
it worked.
It got the job done for Dingle to spring for 26 yards.
Yeah, get in the way. That's all you have to do.
The transfer from UMass, the senior from Baltimore, Maryland.
You know,
the Bobcats
quarterbacks
have a player down on the field, Rod. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say quarterbacks are good at that. They know how to get in the way, and so are wide receivers. They don't always have to make a block. Just get in the way a bit, and that will be a free play, essentially. Get your guy free.
Throw those hands up in the air. Make sure the referees know there's no hold. There's nothing illegal about it. Gavin
You know,
Graham,
Rocky's point about attacking the Texas State defense, that you need to attack them deep, is exactly right. That's the weakness of this style of defense, where, you know, they'll have 3 safeties and they'll bring one down. You've got the middle. Usually they're playing some form of a split safety coverage, 2 safeties back there. You can attack it with post patterns to the middle. You can attack it down the seam. That's usually how you go after a defense like this.
So UTSA on the move. First down handoff, and McCormick straight ahead for another 5 yards.
And Rod, the key, and again, is that extra safety, that rover, that adjuster, whatever you want to call it. He plays deep. Sometimes he comes in the box. So if you can threaten the defense deep, that'll keep him from getting so nosy and getting down that box, and better enable you to run the ball.
That's right. I liken that position to a queen on a chessboard, and you don't want the queen free running around and wreaking havoc. So the more you can challenge them deeply, you can get that rover or that queen out of the box and might be able to run the ball a little bit more.
Christian Taylor, linebacker, was the Texas State player who was down on one knee. So while we have just a moment, tomorrow Sunday Night Baseball, and it has a chance to be pretty interesting when these two teams get together after what happened in 2017, what happened this offseason, the bad feelings between the Dodgers and the Astros. That is tomorrow, Sunday night, 8 Eastern, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. It'll stream live on the app.
How about the Oakland A's trying to wrestle away that division from the Astros for the first time in 3 years? They're in pretty good shape to do it, I would say. Handoff right side running. You grew up an A's fan, didn't you, Rod? Absolutely. One of the all-time great baseball players, youth baseball players in a great city for baseball, Oakland. Rod Gilmore was a 2-sport athlete as a kid, went on to play college football at Stanford.
Well, the guy who was really great was one of my young teammates in Little League and Babe Ruth, Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, he was okay. Frank Harris moving like Ricky inside the 5 into the end zone for the touchdown.
Touchdown UTSA, a 19-yard touchdown run on the quarterback keeper by Dennis.
19 yards for Frank Harris, who won that spirited quarterback competition. He's showing us why in his first game of 2020. He is an athletic, shifty quarterback. He's got some moves.
We talked about him being a dangerous runner. A guy who knows what he's doing, but is content to be a pocket passer when he needs to be. But his athleticism, his change of direction, and his flat-out speed, really makes him a problem at quarterback when he takes the ball.
6 plays, 63 yards, and into the end zone. The Roadrunners up 10, 17-7 after Frank Harris's second touchdown run of this first half. So 3:43 to go until halftime. Let's check in studio with Kevin.
All right, Dave, how about a conference opener 133 years in the making for Notre Dame, right? First ever conference game for the Fighting Irish. Kyron Williams, after what has been a sluggish go of things for Notre Dame on 4th and 1, takes it in 26 yards, 17-6, the Irish on top. Dave.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Well, it's just part of a strange 2020 Notre Dame with their schedule sort of falling apart with all the schools that aren't starting football that are on Notre Dame's schedule. So essentially they're an ACC team for 2020.
And I think they're a threat in the ACC.
A threat even to Clemson, huh?
Yeah. Remember, Clemson has an awful lot that they're replacing this year.
That is true. They've got the quarterback coming back, but a lot of them, and they have lots of talent on that Clemson roster. But Notre Dame has talent. They've got a quarterback who's got a lot of experience.
Ian Book is very, very good. He may be in that Heisman race before it's all said and done.
So the Roadrunners will kick it deep. This one is going to be returned, though, and maybe shouldn't have been. Bobcats stopped inside the 20. Shareed with the return. Let's go back to studio. Kevin's got more to say. Kevin.
Indeed, Dave. What a day for the Sun Belt Conference. Coming up on the College Football Halftime Report. More on the Stunner in Ames and the Stunner in Manhattan, Kansas. Plus, the start of the Mike Norvell era at Florida State. All coming up when you join me and Coach Jim Mora at the half. Dave?
Can't wait. Indeed, a banner day for the Sun Belt. Texas State, a Sun Belt team from the west of that conference. Empty backfield. Sturgis goes out wide. Tyler Vitt, the quarterback, on first down, got hit as he threw the ball. The pass was completed across the middle. Bobcats trying to still go high tempo here and get that offense started. Sturgis going nowhere, just swarmed.
Let's go back to that Harris touchdown run. Look at the great block he gets from his receiver to the outside, and then his lineman coming inside and giving him a block as well. Great block along the path for more than just Harris running with the ball. That was Leroy Watson for the tight end, not a lineman.
And remember, Harris had the great block himself on the big play that got him in scoring position. That pass is incomplete off the fingertips of Sturgis. Fourth down, and the Bobcats are going to have to punt again.
Dave, this is Rocky's point that, you know, they've got to open up a little bit. They're not attacking at all. And so UTSA has really settled in on trying to take away short passes. They've packed the box to stop the run. And until Texas State can threaten UTSA down the field, it's not going to change very much.
I've been shocked, and at some point we can get into this when they get the ball back, but they ran the ball so effectively against SMU last week in their opener, and their run game has been non-existent today against UTSA. Meanwhile, the Roadrunners, they've been running the ball beautifully. It's just a huge contrast in the ground game on both sides. 5 rushing yards total for the Bobcats in this first half. Meanwhile, look at UTSA and all single-digit jersey numbers. McCormick, Harris, Dingle with the end-around run. Brendan Brady, who's a good player in the backfield as well.
Well, that proves the point the coach was trying to make during camp when he assigned those single digits, right? That if you perform, you get to wear a single digit. And the guys who have been carrying the football have been performing.
209 yards rushing to 5. That is lopsided, and UTSA has the ball back with plenty of time on the clock. 2.5 minutes until halftime. They're keeping it on the ground. Why not? Brendan Brady, another carry.
And Brady has been sort of a surprise for this coaching staff. They knew what they had in Sincere McCormick, but Brady's been a surprise.
Harris rolls right and is going to throw back left. That pass was complete, but then the slip in the open field. First down, Roadrunners.
Yeah, Dave, that's my point about Harris. He could have run that ball, but he likes to throw when he gets out there. He keeps his eyes downfield.
Handoff. Brady again, and I think it's an important point because he does have those skills. We've seen him 2 brilliant touchdown runs in this first half, but he doesn't give up on plays. He hangs in there.
That's right.
Frank Harris, who had an ACL tear in high school, an ACL tear at UTSA, a shoulder injury last year, 3 major injuries. He has come back from all 3 of them to get the start in the season opener.
Can you imagine?
Low. It's 3rd and 7. Go ahead.
Imagine, Dave, how he felt. You know, you're a big-time player, highly recruited. You turn down Baylor and Rice, and you come here, stay home, and you get hurt 3 years in a row, and you can't do your thing. And now you finally get a shot. It's hard not to root for a guy like that.
What did they tell us about the vote for the special numbers, the 210? 107 votes for Frank Harris to get one of those numbers. Basically unanimous, everybody on the team. And that was a great drop over the shoulder. The delivery to DeCorian Clark for the first down.
Wow, what a throw. What a throw. Nice touch on that. Gets the ball over the defender. You know, I think at first blush, you know, you think, oh, he's a running quarterback. Look, this is a quarterback play. Watch this throw. Just flip it over there. Nicely done.
That's improv. And a timeout for UTSA. 1:28 on the clock with 2 timeouts still in their pocket. That's plenty of time and timeouts to make something of this drive to end the first half. Remember, they get the ball to start the second half. So the Roadrunners, it's been amazing how they have wrestled control of this game. Frank Harris, 13 of 17, just 75 yards, but the 2 rush touchdowns. He's managed the offense beautifully, I think.
Yeah, as we watched tape of him, it was pretty clear to us that he was the most polished of the 4 quarterbacks in that quarterback competition. That doesn't mean that other guys won't get a shot to play it sometime, but everybody gets pretty excited when they see the youngest of the quarterbacks, Jordan Weeks.
Let's go down to Rocky.
Yeah, just one thing I'm noticing down here at field level, guys, with Frank Harris, making his first start here of the season. He's taking what the defense is giving. He's not really forcing things. He's taking the run when it's there. He's handing the ball off when it's there and not really putting the ball in harm's way. That's a good start.
McCormick alongside, and he gives the ball to Sincere McCormick. Great run, breaking tackles, but there are penalty flags on the play. Maybe, I don't know, did a defender grab the face mask of Sincere McCormick?
I don't know. I couldn't see it. But Rocky's point is well taken. Harris really makes good decisions.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 95, 15-yard penalty. First down.
So that's going to add on after McCormick's rush puts him over 100 yards for the first half, plus the 15 on the penalty.
Yeah, this is clearly an easy call. Turns the head there.
It was. Yes, it was. Nico Isidore. And that penalty pushes UTSA all the way down to the 15. Another run over the right side.
Rocky, you're surprised they're able to run inside against that defense when they already have tackles pinched inside?
I really am, especially considering Jeff Traylor was not that confident in his offensive line coming into this game, but they're really doing the job.
They played great. Harris on the move, throws on the move. Perfect pass right to the first down mark. DeCorian Clark's having a good first half. The sophomore from Fort Worth. It's going to be first and goal, UTSA.
Clock is not much of an issue. They've got a couple of timeouts still. You can pretty much run anything in the playbook here.
Should be no issue at all. 49 seconds. The Roadrunners knocking on the door once again. They fell behind 3 plays into this game, and they have dominated since. McCormick straight ahead. Touchdown, UTSA. The ground game just dominating in this first half now.
Who's tougher? Who's bigger? Who's stronger? Take a look at this. This is about the offensive line. All the glory goes to Sincere McCormick, the running back, but look at the wash down to the left. All Sincere McCormick has to do is make a little move to his right, and it's wide open. Extra point is perfect. 24-7, UTSA opens this game up with about a perfect, whether you call it a 2-minute drive, a 4-minute drive. They managed the clock well. They didn't even have to use their other timeouts, and they punch it in. And I start to wonder, and maybe Rocky down on the field in the conditions there, I start to wonder on an afternoon in Texas whether that ball control 46 plays to 25 is already starting to wear that Texas State team down.
Well, Dave, I can tell you down here, I mean, at game time, the temperature was 91 degrees on the field. It had to be over 100. I can tell you it's real hot down here. So to your point, the more that up-tempo and keeping that defense on the field like that in just the second game of the year, looks like it's taking a little bit of a toll on Texas State's defense.
This is going to be a challenge, Rod, for Jake Spavital's team, because we know they don't have Brady McBride, the starter from week 1, the transfer from Memphis, who's got a lot of ability, and it wasn't perfect, but still was a nice orchestrator for their offense in a near upset of SMU. He is not playing today with COVID protocol, so Tyler Vitt, who's got experience, is going to have to be the guy to lead them, and they're playing from behind now.
Yeah, that's right. And Tyler Vitt is not a deep throwing quarterback. His game is really about manage the running game and to take the short passes. And right now, UTSA is crowding everything short and daring them to take the deep throws.
To Rocky's point about the weather, the coach is sweating bullets on the sideline. Jake Spavital, it's hot down there. Kick return, and not a bad return out to the 25. That is Shareed with the kick return. 36 seconds, timeouts. Bobcats are down. What do you think? Can they be aggressive here and see if they can put some points on the board before halftime?
I think normally most coaches would take a shot here and see what they can do. I just don't know how confident they feel about their ability to get the ball down the field. They may take one play to see where they get to.
36 seconds until halftime, and a bad snap. That's the second one of the first half. Vitt scoops it up. He's going to try to scrap
your special teams and your defense, and Louisiana did just that, as well as a little long ball there.
78 yards to Peter LeBlanc. Raging Cajuns in front 17-14, and then Eric Garrer to the house. Coach, there you go, special teams again.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, it's just bad tackling. Good blocking on the part of Louisiana. Outruns the snapper there. What a tremendous day for Louisiana.
Billy Napier and the Cajuns win it 31-14. Sam Howell, if we're being honest, Coach, was not great today, but I guess it was enough against Syracuse.
No, he wasn't great. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, just the 1 touchdown. But I thought he fought through some early adversity. I thought he adjusted well to what Syracuse was doing on defense. And he showed that poise, that consistency in the pocket, and that ability to deliver the ball all over the field. I think he's a really special player.
And then second half running to football, Javonte Williams, not 1, not 2, 3 rushing touchdowns.
Well, that'll help your passing game when you can run the ball this way, and Williams just slicing and dicing it up inside and finding the pay dirt 3 times. That'll help you when your young quarterback's struggling early.
31-6, the Tar Heels roll. Meantime, Duke, Notre Dame. Second quarter, Irish down 3-0. Brian Kelly senses they need a spark.
You know what? I love the call. You're backed up, way backed up, and you pull out the fake punt. It just shows confidence, I think, not only in your offense, but in your defense.
And then later in the drive, Kyron Williams, 1-yard touchdown run. Notre Dame in front 7-3. Third quarter, Coach, Chase Bryce, the Clemson transfer. Good-looking throw, but it's a turnover.
Yep, can't turn the ball over on the road. You can't turn the ball over against Notre Dame. When you're trying to stay in a game, you've got to take care of the football. Notre Dame is just so explosive.
And then 4th and 1, it's Williams again.
Yep. Look at the downfield block there. He just walks his guy into the end zone. Tremendous job on the edge. Great run. Heck of a football game, Kevin.
Duke hanging around, 17-13. Meantime, start of the Mike Norvell era at Florida State. Good start. James Blackman, Keyshawn Helton.
Yeah, I like the way he's moving the pocket. He's going to protect his quarterback. Good-looking crowd in the stands there. Florida State off to a good start. You know, I'm really interested to see what Mike Norvell does at Florida State this year.
No question. He had great success at Memphis, but then, of course, weather comes in Tallahassee, and, yeah, they were heading for cover indeed. They are still in a weather delay in Tallahassee. It's been a minute. 7-0 Seminoles on top. Meantime, Pitt, Austin Peay. Remember Austin Peay started the college football season with that 75-yard touchdown run? It's been downhill since then. Daniel Carter and Kenny Pickett picking them apart.
I'm a fan of Pitt. You know, Pitt plays that hard nose to the grindstone, pounded out type offense. Look at it here. The quarterback keeper dives into the end zone. You've got to love the tenacity they play with on both sides of the ball.
Pickett is one of 4 returning ACC quarterbacks with 3,000 yards through the air last year. Another good strike here.
You know, I did a game last year, a Pitt game, and he was really impressed with me. Just his poise in the pocket, his ability to see downfield when under pressure, and that was a great example of it there.
35-zip on the ACC network. Meantime, Army taking on Louisiana Monroe. Look at the Black Knights run the football.
You know, when you play in Army, it's like, where's Waldo? How do you find the football? They've got so many moving parts, guys pulling, they got guys going everywhere. And the main thing with Navy is that precision up front. And
Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Rocky Boyman back with you. College football on ESPN presented by Sling TV from San Marcos, Texas. We get ready to start the second half. And the Roadrunners of UTSA playing their season opener under a brand new head coach, a whole new staff, playing great. 24-7 is the score. They lead the Texas State Bobcats. Jake Spavital's team playing their second game of this 2020 season. And the Bobcats have a lot of work to do. UTSA, particularly after the opening moments, just totally dominated the first half, and they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they've run the football and run it well. And Texas State has struggled offensively. Without their starting quarterback, Brady McBride, Tyler Vitt is playing instead, and the offense has struggled.
Well, that's going to be a big part of the story of college football. It just is this year, with players in and out with COVID protocols. And this week for the Bobcats, their starting quarterback unavailable to go. UTSA with all that momentum with the kick return. The Roadrunners would get the ball first. A first half that went very well for UTSA, Rod.
Yeah, great combination. Sincere McCormick busted out early on the opening drive with a big run, and then his quarterback, Frank Harris, showed you his wheels, got his touchdown early on, and then he came right back later, got some great blocking. Leroy Watson, tight end, gave him a great block and got him into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day. And two backs already over 100. Quarterback, 125, and the running back, the freshman of the year last year in Conference USA.
Meanwhile, Texas State barely had that many total yards as an offense that McCormick had on the ground all by himself. He gets the first carry of the second half. Whistles after the play, stopping the clock. Right away, a player banged up for the Bobcats. While we have a minute, let's go down to Rocky.
Yeah, guys, I caught up with Texas State head coach Jake Spavital, and he summed up the first half by saying we're getting dominated in the trenches on both sides of the football. Said we got to find a way to stop their run. And for them offensively, bringing a new quarterback, Vitt, in just a couple of days before he knew he was even the starter, they got to find a way to get some run game going in order to help him get settled back there. And then Jeff Traylor on the other side, beyond impressed with the way his offensive line is playing. He said he wants to keep running this football here in the second half.
Thank you, Rocky. 2 carries to start the second half for the Roadrunners, but it'll be 3rd down and 6.
And this is when you'll see this defense, this 3-high defense. You bring down more guys. Where is the fourth rusher coming from? It can be difficult for the offensive line to figure out who they need to block. They will play games with them.
Plenty of time on that play clock, so Harris called out. Maybe some additions to the play. That short pass, well defended. The tight end makes the catch, but tackled short of the first down. So the Roadrunners are going to have to punt after getting the ball first out of the locker room.
Good tackle by Brendan Looper. Man coverage. And when you're covering someone on the crossing route, you just have to run him down. And Looper did exactly that.
To Lucas Dean, who's done an excellent job punting the ball. One thing that UTSA was confident about was their kicking game, and that's held true. This one bouncing inside the 40. It'll be down at about the 37-yard line. Well, tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning share their advice on ending a career somewhere else before Tom Brady's first game in Tampa Bay. Plus, Randy Moss ranks the best catches from today's college football action, and You Got Mossed. NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN tomorrow.
I was not happy about Montana going to Kansas City after being with the 49ers. You? How are you with that?
I was not. He played probably better than people remember. I mean, it's a footnote in his career, but he was pretty good for the Chiefs. There's a little misdirection on first down from Texas State, but I'm with you. It can be tough to take when a legend goes somewhere else. Tom Brady in a Buccaneers uniform is going to look very strange.
Yeah, I think it leaves fans mad for a while. I was certainly mad when Joe Montana left.
Hopefully you've gotten over it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Straight ahead running Brock Sturgis and a nice gain. So Texas State, 2 positive plays on offense. They didn't do much of that at all in the second quarter. That's a run of 21 yards.
Well, I would think that one of the halftime adjustments is making sure they run the ball more, but get the ball to Hill. Hill has not been used much in this ball game. He had 100 yards rushing last week, and he's the guy, to get him in space, he can make some things happen.
Yeah, he was really good. Another low snap, and Sturgis got the handoff, but the timing of that play may have been messed up right from the start. I don't know what's going on, but that's the third low shotgun snap we've seen in this game.
Yeah, it's been a problem.
So the Bobcats, they got to get that ironed out. Second and 12 after the play fake. That pass caught, and a nice run out into the open field. That's Shareed to the end zone for the Texas State touchdown. And maybe Texas State can get back in this game. That certainly helps. 24-13 with the extra point coming.
You know, this defense doesn't blitz very often. Rarely do they get caught in man-to-man. They don't like to be in that position. And then you get Shareed sort of out of the backfield, and he's got great quickness, change direction, and in the open field, hey, game one, open field tackling, that's really difficult. Don't get a lot of practice with that.
Extra point is up and good. Well, that's the start that Texas State needed for sure. After really getting dominated in the second quarter, they forced a punt. The teams really got pushed around in the first half. They force a punt and go right down the field and score a touchdown to start the third quarter. So the Roadrunners of UTSA now lead 24-14 after the Bobcats touchdown. Texas State will kick the ball back to UTSA. The I-35 rivalry, these two campuses just about 50 miles apart. And they kick off into the end zone for a touchback. Let's take a look at that touchdown play for Texas State.
Yeah, halftime adjustment. This is the first time they've shown a 2-back set. And in fact, one of the backs is a wide receiver, Shareed. And then he comes off to the right side. Now you have 3 receivers on one side of the field. And a lot of mistakes occur defensively about the third receiver to one side. He's ignored, he's forgotten, and he's in the end zone.
Good play by Jamarier Shareed. Now the UTSA offense back on the field. Their first 3 and out of the game was their first possession of this second half. Harris slings it out to the right sideline for a first down gain. 5, maybe 6 yards.
Are you getting what you thought you would get out of Harris, Dave?
You told me how impressed you were. I mean, it's so hard to gauge a kid who's had to fight back from so many injuries, and he's had 3 major injuries in the last 4 years. He pitches that one, and a little move. That was a great run from McCormick to make something out of nothing, and a big something inside the 30, inside the 20, all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Another huge gain on the ground from Sincere McCormick. That's taking the pressure off the quarterback.
How did he
56-yard run.
Yeah, how did he get through this tackle? And it looks like there were 2 guys that had a shot at him, one diving, and he just used his speed to get through that. Now, that's a play that should have been about a 5-yard gain, and instead it's a huge play.
Gosh, I thought it might be a loss when the play started, and it turns into a 50-plus yard run. And there's another Texas State player down. McCormick had a 58-yard run in the first half, so that's 2 huge runs. And he's nearing, what, almost 200 yards now just by himself on the ground in this game with 10:54 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, you know who's enjoying that? His family, because, you know, he's from about 25 miles away, and, you know, he's got some family members checking this game out.
Looper sort of hobbled. He goes off the field. Rocky Boyman, let's go down to you.
I'll tell you one thing I really noticed down here in field level in the first half from UTSA's offense. Really doing a good job, Rod, with their GT scheme, meaning they're pulling the guards, pulling the tackles, and that's up to the linebackers to see that, to read that, and get one more gap over. The linebackers were not adjusting well, so I expect UTSA to keep doing that same sort of concept.
Yep, that counter is difficult.
They're back to play. First down run for no gain inside the 15-yard line. The Roadrunners knocking on the door again, leading 24-14.
Rocky, what's the vibe down there? I mean, I don't know how many fans are there or what it's like on the sideline. What's it feel like? Any sense?
It really doesn't feel that weird because there is about 7,500 fans here, so it just feels like a game. I'm sure, Dave, you've done some games where there's not many fans in the stadium in your life, but very similar to that. But the fans that are here are very, very vocal, including this one guy right behind me who's maybe the loudest guy in the whole stadium.
Maybe time to move for Rocky on 2nd and 10. Harris kept it around the corner. Frank Harris, touchdown, his 3rd of the game. Well, Rod, you asked me what my thoughts were on this junior Frank Harris. Impressed.
Yeah, and if you want to see a guy make a defender miss, you'll never see anything better than what Harris just did on that play. He's in the open field. There's a defender staring him in the face, sizing him up.
Stay on the field. He won the quarterback job at the start of 2020. And Rod, man, is he making the most of it.
You know, Dave, a lot of guys would have said, I just can't play anymore. The game doesn't love me. The game keeps putting me on the shelf. But you have to admire his resilience in coming back and hanging in there and winning the job in a 4-quarterback battle this year.
Efficient passing, not dynamite numbers, but he's made some impressive throws, and he's just been super on the ground. 3 rushing touchdowns. Shareed got to that left corner and finally got shoved out of bounds. So Texas State will have the ball with work to do after they scored. UTSA answered. 31-14 is the score. The Roadrunners with the lead. The 51st season of Monday Night Football kicks off in just a couple days with our annual Week 1 doubleheader. Ben Roethlisberger's back. They say he's looking great. The Steelers and the Giants at 7 Eastern. And then after that one's over, we take you out to Denver for the Titans and the Broncos. That should be a good game. 10:15-ish Eastern time. Both games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. NFL season is here. That pass tipped and almost intercepted. It falls to the turf. Incomplete. So it'll be 2nd down. Well, Big Ben is back, and from all reports, after missing last year, he played 2 games, missed most of the year. All reports, he looks like his old self.
Yeah. Didn't he shave his beard or do something like that and says, you know, just made him feel like a different guy?
Total, it was just turn the page on last year. That pass goes sort of wildly to the sideline, out of bounds. I think UTSA was arguing maybe that was a backwards pass and a fumble, but I thought he threw it forward. I thought there is a flag on the play. So it might not be a backwards pass, but it could be intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 11. He lost it down at the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
So if you don't get the ball out of the pocket, you don't get it back across the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding, and that's what that was.
Yeah. Well, this offense is hurting for playmakers. And with Brady McBride out, you're down a playmaker. And they really haven't been able to get the ball to Haydel. And he's the other significant playmaker in that offense.
Yeah, they need him to make a play here. 3rd and 19. They're going to hand it off. The draw play worked well for them last week. That's number 22, Calvin Hill, has been so quiet. He had a nice game, but not nearly enough for the first down. It's amazing. He had 100 yards against SMU. He's hardly touched the ball here today.
Well, he's going to need more touches. I mean, they need guys who can make people miss and give you chunk plays. You just can't against this defense, and with this quarterback and the game plan for him, you can't dink and dunk down the field, stay on the field and score. You're going to need some chunk plays.
He also has a great name. If you're playing football in Texas and you're named Calvin Hill, I think that's a good omen. That's got to be, right?
A lot to live up to.
That is a fact. Kind of a line drive punt. Returnable with some missed tackles across the 40. There is a penalty flag down. Sticks Jones with a nice return. It could be coming back. Coach Traylor's not real happy with his special teams at the moment. It's another part of the game that this is the season opener for UTSA. Maybe you don't get to work on that quite as much as you'd like leading into the game. Special teams mistakes early in the season, not uncommon.
In the back. On the return team, the 10-yard foul, first down.
Look, we thought that Texas State had an advantage coming into this game, having played last week.
Number 20.
But the first game mistakes by UTSA, as you see the block in the back there, they've been really limited. UTSA has been a really clean program today. They have not made many mistakes in tackling on special teams, but for that one, they've been pretty solid.
Yep. Just a couple penalties in the return game. I think that's what's got Coach Traylor a little unhappy, but despite that, Frank Harris and company back on the field. Frank, who has already tied a school record with 3 rushing touchdowns in this game, hands it off to Sincere McCormick for a gain of a yard.
Tackle made by number 91.
Well, it's a Roadrunners program, Rod, that is still new. And, you know, they have not been around. This is their 10th year of playing football at UTSA. It's their 3rd head coach, so they're kind of starting over. But I mean, they feel like in that part of the world, in San Antonio, excellent high school football all the way around. I think they feel like they can build their program into a Conference USA power. That pass incomplete with another flag down.
This ball is incomplete, intended for number 88.
I mean, it's a strange history. They played their first year as an FCS independent. They joined the WAC for a year, jumped into Conference USA in 2013, full-fledged FBS in 2014. They got to a bowl game in 2016. They've had a first-round draft pick, Marcus Davenport, but now they've let a head coach go, brought another head coach in. So they have some aspirations to build this program up.
Offense number 3. The penalties decline. It will be 3rd down.
Yeah, that's right. This is a program that, you know, is very young. And, you know, there's a lot of good football in the state of Texas, and you can certainly build a program based solely on that.
Well, so many of these players, Harris and McCormick, are 2 really good examples having big games. Are local kids who played their high school football around San Antonio. Staying home for college ball. That quick little slant was stopped well short. It's 4th down. The penalty had been declined. So 4th down, a punt coming up for the Roadrunners. With 7:40 to go in the 3rd quarter, UTSA up 31-14.
I was just going to comment, Dave, they certainly can have success just because of their location. They're right here in the hotbed of talent, which is the state of Texas. Now, you got to compete with a lot of other schools, Texas Tech, Baylor, UT, and many more. But the talent is here, and if they can recruit that 6-hour rate.
Family, as they were going through that.
I think the family has really appreciated the way that the program has treated all of them, and the way they've taken care of them after just an unfathomable tragedy for that family. Rashad is a great kid, a leader. He was an excellent freshman last year. He's a really good football player. He's got a game-high 8 tackles already today. Playing with his brother in mind, I'm sure.
Well, he wore his brother's number, his high school number, 39, and then switched over to 0 this year as he earned it from the coaching staff and his teammates. And he said it was with a heavy heart that he made the switch, but it was time to move on. 17. That's awful. Cancer just sucks, you know?
Yep.
It just
17
sucks.
years old. And his brother fought hard
and guys,
for more than a year. Rocky, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, no, I just wanted to mention, I don't know about you guys, but seeing Rashad's face light up on that Zoom call we did this week when we were talking about his brother was absolute gold. That was amazing.
Totally agree. And look who made that play. Wow.
He is a really, really good football player. He was sort of the heart of this defense starting last year, and that's continued this year. As a freshman, he sort of took charge on the back end, and he's a guy that they try to get involved in a number of ways. Whether it's in the box or it's on the back end, he's involved.
I mean, we didn't really know. Did he want to? Was it too fresh? Did he want to talk much about his brother? Too sad about it? All he wanted to do was talk about Bryce and the great kid that he was, how much he loved football. He was going to be an architect. He loved to build crazy stuff with Legos. And Rocky's right. He just lit up talking about Bryce. And our thoughts are with the Wisdom family. But Rashad, just a delightful young man, and I think it's very cool how it's not just Rashad, it's the whole team honoring the memory of young Bryce Wisdom. Plus, Bryce would be proud of the way his brother's playing, wouldn't he, today? The UTSA defense, another stop, forcing the punt.
He sure he is.
Well, Saturday Night Football, that's tonight. It's Saturday. Sometimes these days it's easy to lose track. What day of the week is it? Clemson will start their season #1 Tigers with Trevor Lawrence against Wake Forest, the season opener for both teams. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One tonight on ABC and on the ESPN app. Not a shock to either of us. The Notre Dame team that you were talking about, Rod, earlier, and Rocky, I'm sure, can add on about the Fighting Irish. They got a chance, but the percentages are heavily favoring Clemson once again. I don't know if Rocky agrees with those percentages. Rocky, do the Irish have a better chance than 6% to overtake Clemson in the ACC?
So let me tell you what every Notre Dame fan around the country is hoping for. Number one, Trevor Lawrence is thinking about the NFL, and he just kind of doesn't really have his mind into this season. And then the offensive line doesn't come together, and then the wide receivers don't come together, and then Notre Dame will be led to glory by Ian Book. That's the game plan.
I got a feeling Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great year.
Harris in the pocket. Had nowhere to go with the ball. That was kind of a dangerous play. He dumped that one off, and it hit the turf. That was a forward pass and an incomplete pass. I don't know about that. That's the first decision from Frank Harris today where I'm thinking, I don't know.
You're absolutely right. That's the first time any decision he's made has been questionable. He's been so good with the football, so good deciding when to run, when to throw. And that one,
See,
he may not ever do that again.
He's talking about. Notre Dame fans are looking for that from Trevor Lawrence. 3rd and 18. Handoff. UTSA can be a little conservative. Final 4 minutes of the third quarter. They've got the 17-point lead.
I think Trevor Lawrence has a lot to prove this year after the way last year ended for him and for Clemson, and being outplayed by Joe Burrow, and knowing full well that if Justin Fields gets on the field for Ohio State this season, Justin Fields will be right at his heels as to who's the best quarterback and who should be the #1 pick overall.
I think it's an interesting point. And it's hard to say a guy so decorated in his first 2 years of college football has something to prove, but I think you're right with the way that especially last season started and ended. There were some highlights in the middle there. That punt's going to bounce on the turf and be taken on a bounce. by Haydell. They're looking for a big play from this guy. They haven't been able to get him in the pass game. Here he goes in the return game. Across midfield, down the sidelines. One great highlight last week wasn't enough. How about this week? But there is a flag on the field.
You talk about a playmaker. Dave, I think he went through 2 or 3 tackles. He ran through them, busted through them.
And you can see his reaction. He just found out there's a penalty on the play.
During the third, personal foul, blindside block, number 90. It'll be 15 yards from this spot, first down.
So the blindside block negates a just tremendous punt return touchdown from Jeremiah Haydell.
Usually blindside blocks aren't relevant, necessary for the run. Now watch his determination. Your job as a punt return to make the first guy miss. He makes 2 miss right off the bat, 3, and then he runs through another tackle, and then 1 more before the speed gets going. My goodness. Sometimes you just want something like that to stand because it was so pretty.
Would have been 80 yards. So was that the back? The penalty came at the end of that return or towards the end of that return?
Blindside block
right there, number 90.
Right there.
Wow, I don't know. What do you think? Is that blindside?
I don't know about that call.
Yeah,
tough call.
Over the top, incomplete. Penalty flag thrown on this pass attempt, trying to get the ball to Marcel Barbie. That was close. And,
yeah, you know, the defender is in the play, and you've got a blocker peeling back, and he gets his head in front of him.
Defense, number 23, 15-yard foul. First down.
I mean, yeah, you know, David, that's kind of tough. But the rule requires, you look at the pass interference here.
This one wasn't tough.
No, he grabbed him with the left hand to hold him down.
Well, it's definitely worth another look at the penalty on the punt return. Haydell, who had the spectacular catch last week that was all over the highlights, was going to be all over the highlights. And maybe folks will just show it again because it was so fun to watch, but he doesn't get credit for the touchdown return because of the penalty flag thrown.
Yeah.
I want to look at it again. I'm not over it yet.
Now, a few years ago, this wouldn't even be a question. It would not be a blindside block. That rule was changed a few years ago to help protect players if you can't defend yourself, and that's what the official is relying on.
Over the top and incomplete. There was some contact there. No flag this time. Intended for TJ Graham. Well, there is a flag.
Pass interference, defense, number 26, 15-yard foul. First down.
Okay, so it did come in. I didn't see the flag get thrown near the play. There was definitely contact.
You think the right hand grabbing was a little bit of contact? Probably.
Yeah. Can't convince that guy. Hand off, big hole, right side, touchdown. Calvin Hill into the end zone. Well, the punt return got negated, but the Bobcats took advantage of good field position anyway and went right down the field to score. This game is not over. Still 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Long way to go. 31-20 with an extra point coming up.
Yeah, you know, he's probably still upset about the blind side, but, you know, as I mentioned about the rule, the officials are looking at safety and whether the defender can protect himself.
And I think that's a valid point. I just personally didn't think that was a spot where the rule applied, but I think you're right, and they default to player safety, and that's not a terrible thing.
I hear you, yeah. And like I said, a few years ago, that would not have been a call. As you see the touchdown run here, again, a good bounce to the outside, good vision, a good feel for where to go with that ball with Calvin Hill. Unrelated to Dallas Cowboys star Calvin Hill.
Well, rush of the ball much better. It didn't take much to be much better than the first half after their really good performance on the ground in the opener against SMU. Not nearly the same here today, but the ground game has been better as the game has gone along. And the penalty also, when you're down, you're thinking about time and how much time you have left in the game to make a comeback. It only took him 51 seconds, so just an extra not even minute once the touchdown on the return was negated. So the Bobcats, all's well that ends well.
Well, and they got Calvin Hill involved. He was nowhere in sight in the first half, and now he's shown up. And we also saw Haydel get involved on a punt return. So Texas State making a concerted effort in the second half to get the ball to their playmakers, especially with Brady McBride out, the quarterback who's sort of a Houdini at times.
I think what really helped Texas State right there was at least attempting to stretch the field with a couple of deep throws. I think it just loosened that defense up a little bit, enough to get that run game going.
Good point.
I think that's right.
So Jake Spavital's team down just 10, 2:04 to go. And their defense back on the field now. The defense has also played better in the second half. 3 out of the 4 drives for UTSA have been 3 and outs since halftime. Bobcats outgaining the Roadrunners in the third quarter.
Yeah, we will see if they can be a little bit more stout against the run game here now that momentum is on the side of Texas State.
Almost like a pistol formation. The play fake. Harris will throw, and he delivers it right on target for a first down. UTSA. DJ Mask with the tackle.
He's done very well rolling to his left. He throws well on the move, and he threatens you with his legs when he rolls out.
That was officially the longest pass play of the game for UTSA. 13-yard completion. There's Harris cutting it upfield. That looked to me like a designed quarterback run for a gain of close to 5. Over 300 rush yards for the Roadrunners. That one completed.
I'm surprised they've come out firing on this drive. I assume that they would try and get their rushing game going again.
Me too. Last minute of the third quarter, and a handoff on 3rd and 3. Nowhere to go. So the Bobcats defense has toughened up. And that's Braden Stringer. Remember, he was a guy who got totally juked out by Frank Harris on one of those touchdown runs. He made a much better play that time.
Yeah, he slips the block and gets right in here and destroys his play. That was tremendous linebacking play. You saw that offensive lineman came right on him. He used his athleticism to slip that block and make the play, and he's back to doing that good stuff.
So that's another 3 and out for the Roadrunners. Whistle blows as they were getting ready to punt the ball.
And that's the recipe for momentum.
Prior to the snap, timeout. UTSA be a 30-second timeout. First charge timeout.
UTSA called timeout. I wonder, Rod, whether they noticed that it was Jeremiah Haydel back there to return again and wanted to just remind everybody, let's not let him make one of those plays for a second straight time.
You get a score and a stop, you get momentum.
You're right. Jake Spavital's team has perked up here, that's for sure. Jake, who's got a connection to the head coach on the other sideline, Jeff Traylor. Jeff's son, Jordan, was one of the quarterbacks at Texas A&M, where Jake was the QB coach. So he knows the Traylor family very well. Kyle Allen, Kenny Hill, among those in that quarterback room in 2014. And Jordan is now coaching at the NFL level with the New Orleans Saints, so these coaches know each other very well. Out of the timeout. Let's see if this punt goes anywhere near Haydel. It's kind of one of those squib style punts, and I think that was smart on the turf. Let it roll inside the 10 all the way down to the 9.
Very smart.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the timeout was for. 6 seconds still on the clock in the third quarter from San Marcos, where the homestanding Bobcats trying to come from behind and get their first win of the year. They trail 31-21.
And Dave, they've got momentum on their side right now, and they've done a couple of good things the last couple times out. They got the ball to Sharif, had him in the backfield, confused UTSA. Got the ball also to Hill, used him a little bit better. So the halftime adjustments for them have been good offensively.
They have been. That big disparity in time of possession, total yardage, maybe at least a little part of it. Vitt gets away. Tyler Vitt, nice scramble for a first down.
The defensive coordinator is that he knows where Vitt's going to be. He's not a scrambling quarterback. McBride, when he's in there quarterback, you just can't go after him the same way because he's going to run away from your guys. He's a better athlete.
That's the third sack for the Roadrunners in this game. Second and very long. They'll run that drop play that they like. This time Calvin Hill breaking tackles. So he got back past the original line of scrimmage. In fact, he got all the way to the first down mark. That's a first down run.
You got the linebackers caught up with the linemen. Hunting linebackers and didn't allow them to make the play. Good blocking by the offensive line.
So it's not quite first and goal. They can get a first down inside the 5 at the 3. Vitt handed it off down to the 11.
Flynn, isn't this the area of the field where Haydel made the great catch last week?
Absolutely it is. That right corner. That's a good idea. If I were the Bobcats, I'd be thinking about maybe trying something like that again.
It's worked before.
Play fake. Vitt throws off his back foot, and I think he was just throwing it away. So now it's 3rd and 8. This drive started all the way back at the 9-yard line. So very impressive. Texas State with the big pass play on the first play of the fourth quarter. Got a big chunk. They've gone 80 yards. There is number 3.
That's your guy. Your formation should be done so that you get him in the best position to help you down here. He's your guy, your playmaker.
Texas State will empty the backfield. Vitt all alone back there. Steps up. He's going to try to run for it. Vitt spins away. He gets the first down, not quite to the goal line, but it's going to be first and goal. And to me, Rod, that was a design call and a beautiful call.
Yeah, quarterback draw. That was the #1 play Ty Nix and the defense there were concerned about with McBride at quarterback. They didn't expect to see a lot of quarterback draw with Vitt. Perfect time to surprise him because you're not expecting it.
They had 1 third down conversion all game before this drive. They've had 2 on this drive, and now they have first and goal. Trying to punch it in. Kind of a high snap, but the handoff was made cleanly, and Sturgis is in. Touchdown, Texas State. 91-yard drive in 4.5 minutes.
Again, momentum, offensive line play, and Sturgis powerful. Guy built low to the ground, struck chance. Give them a chance to catch their breath.
I go back to the point you made, Rod, on the last drive. They were throwing the ball with a big lead with all the ground success they've had today. I'd be shocked if they don't try to bully that Texas State defense a couple times with the rush game.
Help your defense right now.
They will hand it off. Sincere McCormick straight ahead. Nice gain on first down, 7, maybe even 8 yards.
Yeah, that's what complimentary football is. It is being aware as the head coach of what's going on both sides of the ball and playing to help the other side when you need to.
179 yards rushing, 9 yards a carry, 2 huge rushes for the sophomore. Last year's freshman of the year in Conference USA. Straight ahead. It was designed to get 3, and I think they got 3 right to the mark. We'll see where they spot it. Actually, that spot for the sideline was short, so they need a yard on 3rd down. They're getting to the line very quickly, and Harris keeps it, and he should have the 1st down. That was interesting. They hustled as fast as they could on 3rd and 1, and it worked.
And they'll go fast here as well.
Some teams in that spot, they mess around. They argue about the spot. Can we get a measurement? What was the spot the right one? And no, the Roadrunners said, well, let's just get the yard and be done with it. Under 10 minutes to play. We had a crazy beginning to this game. And we figured this was going to be a close one over the top. And that is caught. What a catch. Contested. Brennan Dingle with the defender right alongside. He did. You're right.
I think Kevin Anderson gets that's not actually Anderson. I thought that's Childress, the freshman. I thought he got his hands on it first. He did. He had his hands on it first, and it was taken away.
For 44 yards. How about that play? Huge. You're right. Ed Childress had a great chance to intercept it. Instead, it's a big game, and UTSA on the move. It'll be 2nd and 8. I like this guy a lot. He was a high school quarterback in the state of Texas. They called him the surprise in camp. Has earned a big role as a true freshman on the Texas State defense, but could not quite wrestle the ball away. That's a big play. Handoff, nowhere to go.
He's in great position. And yeah, you know, they teach you as a defensive back not to let the ball come to you, but to go up and get it at the highest point. Former quarterback still learning that. If he waited for that ball to come down, had he gone up higher, he wouldn't have had to bother with it being wrestled away.
And who knows, maybe also, and I think you're right, it's a good point, maybe a little senior strength wrestling the ball away from the true freshman.
Yep.
Harris goes down. Penalty flags thrown. That play was sort of blown up from the beginning by the Bobcats defense. The two defensive tackles, they sort of call them in the 3-4 alignment. Rebels and Ezador. So the false start came before the play, so they will replay 3rd down.
You know, those defensive ends tackles that you referenced, in this style of defense, they play on the inside shoulder of the tackle to take away runs in that B gap. But this offensive line has kind of dominated them, and they've been able to run inside anyway.
3rd and 14, kind of on the fringes of field goal range. UTSA leading by 3. Harris throws back, and it is incomplete.
That brings up 4th down.
4th down. So now what do? You kick a long field goal?
Yeah, that still only give you a 1-possession lead. They obviously feel they don't have a 4th and 14 play that will work here. This has been a good stop for the Texas State defense. Giving up 3 here doesn't really hurt you.
Field goal try is up, and that one is
a teacher, and boy, did he do great things. 1964 Civil Rights Act.
One of the most important people in the history of this country, and he got his teaching certificate with his history degree when he graduated from Texas State. The Bobcats down 6, getting the ball back with 7:21 to go. Speaking of teachers, Extra Yard for Teachers Week, an annual effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation to bring college football together to support and celebrate teachers across the country. Thanks to the CFP, ESPN honored to donate $20,000 this week to help support teachers and their students. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow at CFP Extra Yard. And although
great
he
uncle.
wasn't as notable on this campus, he was on the campus for a long time. This week has given me a chance, Rod, to think about my late great uncle Jim, who was a professor in the history department at Texas State for 45 years. It's a pretty good run. First down pass, incomplete as his Bobcats have the ball back with 7:14 to go.
Did he overlap at all with President Johnson?
He did not. He started teaching in the 1960s, taught all the way into the 2000s. This school was founded in 1899. Has had 7 different names. Maybe they've landed on one they can stick with for a while.
Right.
George Strait, also an alum. Paul Goldschmidt, great baseball player. And a great history on campus. This beautiful campus in San Marcos. Vitt on the move, and he's going to get sacked. Tracked down from behind.
Charles Wiley coming from the opposite side. And again, Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator, knows where Vitt will be. Isn't worried about him scrambling and has been dialing up the pressure as this game has gone on when they need to make a play on an early down.
Well, that's huge. 3rd and 19 now. Vitt from the goal line, essentially. Across the middle, it's caught, and we'll see where they spot the receiver. Sort of tumbled over the defender, but I think a yard short.
Yeah, that's Blake Aragon, one of their great tight ends, 6'4", 220. Watch him go up and get this.
Wow. And you know what? That knee did not come down. And that wasn't a great angle to see it, but Texas State, they're going for it on 4th down, even from this spot on the field.
Well,
How about this decision?
You must feel really good about your rushing attack and the play you have, because you don't normally take a risk down here.
Vitt is going to hand it off. He ran into his running back, who bounced backwards but still gets the first down. Brock Sturgis.
So every coach has a 4th down play for late in the game or 2-point play they know will work. And that's why they went with this. But this almost got blown up by accident. They almost fell down in the backfield.
It was a terrific effort from Brock Sturgis, and I guess if you come from the Mike Leach coaching tree, you're willing to take risks, but that was a risk and it paid off big time. Now going deep, Vitt. That pass is contested and incomplete, but a penalty flag is thrown.
Well, the other thing you can see right away with that ball is underthrown. A little bit more on it.
Defense, number 0. 15-yard foul, first down.
A little more on it, and Sheree just runs underneath it and waltzes into the end zone. But this is underthrown. He has to wait for it, and you see that Wisdom is catching up to it. Never has a chance to turn his head around. Does not clearly pass interference. But if that ball's thrown on time and is out there, that's a touchdown.
So from 3rd and very long inside the 10 to the big gain to the gamble to go for it on 4th down, and now that penalty. And now what? Even more.
How are those fans doing out there now?
I think they added on an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah.
So that's 30 yards of penalty in that one play, and here come the Bobcats with 5:24 to go, down to the 39-yard line of UTSA. 116 penalty yards against the Roadrunners. Vitt throws toward the end zone. It is caught right at the pylon. Touchdown. Marcel Barbie has tied the game with an extra point to put Texas State ahead.
What do you bet he said, give me another chance to throw that? This one he puts out there, and that left foot, is it inbounds? That's his right foot. That looks like it's on the white.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
A touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, that looks like
effort.
White.
But I'm with you. I think his foot came down on the out-of-bounds line.
Yeah, much better throw by Vitt. but that is a white foot on a white line. That's gonna come back. You need indisputable video evidence to overturn a call. And Flim, I think that's as pretty clear as you're going to get.
I think so. Now, it was just a first down play, so it's not like this is disaster for Texas State, but that negates a touchdown that could have put the Bobcats ahead.
Well, they put the fear in the defensive backs now that they can get behind them.
After video review, the ruling is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 at the 39-yard line. Second down.
And it's put the fear in Ty Nix, the defensive coordinator, that he cannot leave his corners out there on an island. Receivers are going by them, so look for more zone coverage right now. And Vitt has to be patient. There's Nix. I'd be concerned too if 2 straight plays receivers ran by my corners.
Well, Bobcats, Haydell, we showed you his catch from last week. Barbie, that was a terrific effort. I mean, they do have some guys who can go up and get the ball. The tight end Aragon with a big play on this drive. So it's 2nd and 10 from the 39. The touchdown wiped out as we expected. Good use of replay. 5:16 to go in the 4th quarter. Tyler Vitt throws, and that one to the sideline is caught, and that one ruled inbounds. There's Haydell.
That's a good read and a smart throw, recognizing that, look, you get 3 deep coverage. They've gotten out of the man-to-man. You're going to take something in front of them, and a great catch by Haydell on the side. Good patience by Vitt.
Tyler, the junior, who didn't know he was going to start this game until what, maybe last night at best. Pressed into service today and has led the Bobcats from behind. Calvin Hill with a nice carry for 5 yards on first down. That clock continues to move.
And how bad must Brady McBride, the starter, feel, not being able to play? 25 family members came to town, tickets, hotel rooms to watch him play, and at the last minute, he's a COVID scratch.
Yeah. And you feel for him. Tyler Vitt has filled in ably. He'll throw again with a hit as he released it, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 5.
But Flim, I got a feeling that the scratch of McBride is a harbinger of what we're going to see a lot in college football this season. You see that hit on Vitt.
And teams are just going to have to be ready for it, because you're right. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen more than a few times. All right, huge play here, 3rd and 5. Inside the 25, they will hand the ball off, and that one was well defended. Hill may have lost a yard.
Corey Mayfield coming in from the right side, corner making a good tackle on that play. And it looks like Hill's a little gimpy there.
He is. So now that they didn't get anything, does that motivate a different strategy here? I think they're keeping the offense on the field. They are. They're going for it on 4th and 6.
Yeah, he was committed to 4 downs here from the start. That's consistent with his personality.
And when you're down 6, I think it's the right call.
Yeah, agreed.
Vitt throws, and that one is intercepted. Coming back the other way. Rashad Wisdom down the sideline, trying to put the game away. Into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow. What a play.
Going for it on 4th down. Texas State instead gives up the pick 6.
Yeah, he doesn't really see where he's throwing it, and there's a miscommunication between Vitt and Shareed, and Wisdom is right there to close out what's been a terrific day for him.
81-yard.
Need it. Easy. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Hercules. I have been expecting you.
Aha! And I brought you a gift so you can fight properly. Red Bull.
Oh!
How nice.
Of you.
But also...
rather...
stupid.
Mine.
Mine!
No, mine!
No, mine!
Mine!
Mine. Red Bull gives you wings.
Domino's knows a thing or two about delivery. So when we saw people were getting tacos and burgers delivered like these, we had to step in. Introducing our new chicken taco and cheeseburger pizzas.
What? Oh my.
Now the best way to get a taco or burger delivered is to get a Domino's pizza.
Did you already brush your teeth tonight? Well, guess tonight's gonna be a two-brush night, right? Not sorry, Reese's.
All right, a wild game in San Marcos, Texas. What will the Bobcats do here? They're down 6. They have all 3 timeouts. 1:51 on the clock, fourth quarter. They were down at 2 different spots in this game by as many as 17. That sure looks like an onside kick.
You got to kick this off. Percentages are in your favor to kick off instead of going for the onside kick.
They kind of spread out, so maybe they were just showing an onside kick formation. We'll see. Nope, they're going to do it. Bounces on the turf, bounces up, and I think the Roadrunners fell on the football.
You know what that tells me, Flynn? That they didn't believe their defense could get a stop. That they had more trust in trying to get the onside kick than sending the defense out there with 3 timeouts to get the ball back.
Good hands there by UTSA. And you may well be right. The Roadrunners had 305 rushing yards in the first 3 quarters. They've had 11 total in the fourth quarter. It's still impressive. The 5th time in school history that the Roadrunners have had better than 300 yards. They've averaged 7.5 a rush, trying to put the game away. And they will hand the ball off. A good gain on first down of close to 5. Well, while we have just a quick moment tonight, the next UFC Fight Night from Las Vegas, Michelle Watterson and Angela Hill headline the card in the strawweight main event, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN+. If you're looking for ESPN+, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app. That's tonight. So timeout. Texas State used their first of 3 timeouts. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up.
If you're Texas State defensively here, you've got to roll the dice a bit. You've got to really bring pressure, your run blitzes, to stop them from rushing, because you can't give up anything. You really have to go after them. If they pull the ball and take a shot down the field, you just have to live with that.
You know, it's sort of funny to call a game where the teams have met so few times in their history a rivalry game, but these campuses are within 50 miles of one another, and this is played like a rivalry game today. This has been a super fun college football game coming down to the wire. 2nd and 6, handoff. They do take a chance. The run blitz works. The tackle behind the line of scrimmage, so a loss on the play. McCormick wrestled down. That was Nico Ezador, and they will use their 2nd timeout, 1:42 on the clock, to set up 3rd down.
And not to belabor the point, but if you kick the ball off, you know, you back up the UTSA offense, put a little bit more pressure on them, and you get better field position if you stop them. Now, because they took the ball over the middle of the field, even if you stop them, there's a pretty good chance that your offense is going to have to go 80, 90 yards to try and win this game.
I think you're right, and I do think one of the interesting parts of that point you just made is, do you give the offense a little more freedom to have some different play calls in this part of the field on 3rd and 8, where maybe if they're deep in their own territory in this spot, they're extra conservative? We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's right. This is a huge play. And if it were me, I would be thinking about Harris and his feet.
He is under center, and he's going to pitch it. That play almost was a disaster. The trip in the backfield, another loss. It's 4th down, and Texas State is going to use their final timeout, which I think is smart. Just call it. Don't let those seconds tick off the clock. They'll have a minute and a half or so, depending on how this punt play goes, with probably a long way to go, but a chance to drive and win the game.
So often we see poor clock management at the end of a game. In this instance, it's pretty clear that Texas State has used the clock appropriately, used their timeouts the right way. They'll get the ball back. they'll have a minute and a half to try to go the length of the field to win the game.
Yeah, and just purely saving those 3 timeouts has made their chances of a wild comeback much greater. So 4th and 10. The Roadrunners couldn't get that first down to put the game away. The Texas State offense has been quick strike. They've had scoring drives in this game of a minute 21, a minute 34, 52 seconds, a minute 32. So the time left on the clock is going to be right in line with how they've done it here this afternoon. What a fun game.
It's been a great game. Started off fast. What do we have? 3 touchdowns in 5 plays to open the game?
First 5 plays from scrimmage, combined, each team had scored a touchdown. We should have known it was going to be this kind of game. Lucas Dean has had an excellent day punting. He's going to try to pin Texas State deep. We'll see if he can. Clean snap. He'll angle the punt. And it's going to be scooped up on a bounce. That's Haydell with all his dramatic moves across the 25. Haydell, here he comes to the 35, to the 40, still going. Haydell to the 30, to the 20. Has he done it? He did it! 90 yards. And the Bobcats are an extra point away from going ahead. They've tied it up. Amazing.
That man is amazing. Last week he gave us the catch of the year. That is the punt return of the year now.
Take all the highlights, Jeremiah Haydell.
My goodness.
They didn't even have to put the offense back on the field. And the punt was designed to keep him from doing that. I'm sure UTSA is thinking we should have just punted the ball out of bounds. How did we even give that guy an opportunity to scoop it up on a bounce?
Well, they kicked it away from him earlier.
Oh, my goodness. Did he miss the extra point? He hooked it. He hooked the extra point. So the game stays tied. You thought it couldn't get any crazier. Yeah, I feel you, Jake.
Wow.
Alan Arona, the redshirt freshman kicker. And I don't know if the snap was good, the hold, but the kick was not good.
This is all amazing because they punted away from him earlier, and we assumed they would try to punt and pin him down and not let him touch his ball. But look at everything he runs through. He ran through 3 tackles. He made a couple of guys miss. Wow.
What a return with the game on the line. They're going to say officially 91 yards for Jeremiah Haydell. And there's that extra look at the extra point. It really was just a hook. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, how does that happen, right?
Tie game. And now UTSA, they've got 2 timeouts and a minute 16. That is a bad feeling. Alan Arona hooked it.
No one feels worse than that young man.
Crazy. 41-41.
He probably makes PATs in his sleep.
He's going to be thinking about that one in his sleep for a long time, I'm sure.
No doubt.
So what else can happen in this game? A low line drive kick. That will be returned after a little hesitation. And the Roadrunners can't even get it back to the 20-yard line. A long field ahead, but 2 timeouts, a minute 10. Now Frank Harris, who's played really a heck of a game coming back from major injuries. 3 of the last 4 years, won the starter's job for the Roadrunners. And he's got a chance to be the hero if he can lead his offense down the field.
And if he's throwing the football, where does he go with it? We've seen Leroy Watson, the tight end, step up and make plays. Remember, they are without Zachary Franklin, their best receiver. He has not played at all today.
Well, we had a candidate, Rod, last week for catch of the year already. We've got a candidate now for game of the year in college football.
Game of the year, punt return of the year.
The I-35 rivalry is is becoming a heck of a rivalry before our eyes. Before the first play, though, that's a delay of game. Wow. That's not supposed to happen. Just a little extra tougher. Harris looking to run and really nowhere to go. Clock will move. We'll see if the Roadrunners use one of those 2 timeouts.
At this point, I would expect not. I mean, they're in the shadow of their own goalpost. They don't seem to really see an advantage anywhere.
I'm shocked. They had 2 timeouts in more than a minute.
Yeah.
And they were really just going to play for overtime.
Yeah. Once they started backing up, they pulled the plug on this. Their fans won't be happy about it.
So Harris will take a knee, and that will do it for regulation. Well, the chances were pretty good. We were going to overtime anyway. But that was very conservative for Jeff Traylor, first-year head coach, whose team has played so well in so many ways. Remember, this is their season debut. Bobcats had a game last week to kind of work out some of the kinks. But the gut punch, allowing the 91-yard punt return with less than 2 minutes to go, up 6. The Roadrunners